Just last week, I had a candidate come in who looked like a perfect fit for my software company to be our next rockstar sales rep. I'm the hiring sales manager for a software company, and everything on paper looked perfect. He was coming from another software company. It looked like he had about the right tenure. His resume looked pretty good. And I went into that interview thinking that this guy was going to be a rock star. About 45 minutes later, I felt annoyed, discouraged, and I definitely passed on him as a candidate. He made 4 fatal interview mistakes. And really, with a rock star interview, he would have had the job. But now he's dusting off his resume one more time and taking another crack elsewhere. The first mistake he made was that he was very assumptive and arrogant. He over-talked, and we know as salespeople we love to talk, but your hiring manager is probably a salesperson who loves to talk too. So make sure you give that individual the floor as well. Be articulate, passionate. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself. But if you don't have accolades, that's okay. Just make sure you're honest. Do not try to put up a front. They can dig around, talk to references, talk to other people that might know what your performance is. If you were 7th out of a team of 24, just tell them that. In fact, I like seeing a little bit of vulnerability. It makes me sense that they're not over-exaggerating or they have hyperbole on their resume. The second fatal mistake that he made was that he did no research about me or my organization. I asked him what other companies he was interviewing with, and one of them was a software company that I previously worked at. It was a great opportunity for him to build some rapport, ask some great questions. Instead, the opportunity totally passed by because he didn't even look at my LinkedIn profile, right? So look for opportunities to create common ground, and that's simply the law of commonality. And you might be able to do that through a connection on research by looking through their history or seeing what other people they know. That's going to instantly build a connection with you and the one that's interviewing you. The third mistake he made was that he didn't articulate his current selling could fit into our system. And what I mean by that is you need to preemptively get to my objection of, can you sell here? I know you've sold somewhere else, but show me how that fits into how we sell. And that takes some research and that takes some understanding of our sales process. But I really didn't feel like his sales process was a bit more transactional and it was a bit more about price, whereas we don't have as many competitors and we're doing more ROI type selling, as well as really a challenger sale to try to challenge the status quo. And if he understood that, he could probably position himself better, but he basically said, what I'm really good at is the way that you guys do not sell. So that did not become very appealing to me. And then finally, the fourth fatal mistake that he made was that he asked horrible questions. And to me, this seems so obvious, but when a candidate asks me a question that they can find on our website, they're simply wasting my time. I get annoyed and aggravated, and even further it's a waste of his airtime. He could ask me a great question about my management leadership philosophy. Instead, he's asking me about products, competitors, just really things that aren't that important at this stage right now. Those might be questions you ask in week 2 of employment, but you really don't need to know that in the interview process. Your time during the interview process is to wow your interviewer. And that might mean flattering them a little bit, but it definitely means get them over the risk barrier of whether you may or may not be a fit. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Be honest about what you have and haven't accomplished. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself. But being arrogant and being confident are 2 different things. Don't make these mistakes. Don't be like him. Go and land the job.